some of the milestones that could be reached this season. First up, LeBron James has his sights set on passing Robert Parish's all-time game mark. James is going to need to play in 50 games this season, a mark that he's completed in 21 of his 22-year career. All right, I'm going to go to UD on this one. UD, what would this record tell you about LeBron?
I mean, there's guys that like it, there's guys that love it, and there's guys that live it. The like it guys, they show up when it's time to be there, and they leave when it's time to go. The love it guys, they show up a little bit early, and they stay a little bit late. The live it guys, those are the guys that 24/7, everything is built about them being the best version of a basketball player.
Right,
I got a chance to see this firsthand in Miami with LeBron James.
Love it. All right, next up, KD. If KD can score 1,722 points, he will pass not only Wilt and Dirk, but MJ to move into 5th on the all-time scoring list. Perk, what would passing Jordan mean to the legacy of Kevin Durant?
When he scores the 1,721 points is the thing. But he's the greatest scorer of all time, in my opinion. Zero flaws offensively, and I know he's been going back and forth on social media saying he don't like being called the greatest scorer of all time. But damn it, to me, you are Kevin Durant, a walking bucket.
Finally, the Joker will need just 18 triple-doubles this season to pass Oscar Robertson on the all-time list. Mark, how many triple-doubles will the Nuggets need out of Jokic this season to win the West?
I don't think they need a record number because Valanciunas is on the team now. You know, Joker played a career-high 36.7 minutes per game last season, but with this big Euro vet behind him, doesn't need to. I think he'll get to drop his minutes down by about 4 or 5 minutes a game, which makes him better in the fourth quarter and better long-term.
All right, from big expectations to big games, here are the hottest tickets on average, according to Vivid Seats. The Lakers and Knicks had the highest average price for any game last season, the one that ended up being the last for LA before the Luka trade. But with all this ticket talk, there's someone on our panel that spies the hottest ticket of the season.
I'm Kendrick Perkins, better known as Big Perk, and nothing gets past me. Freeze! Just when you thought it did get past me, there I am. I spy a problem. I spy it all. Carry the hell on. You damn right I spy something. I see something. I see some young bulls that have old souls, baby. And when I say old souls, I'm talking about their mentality, old school mentality. The hottest ticket in the game is when we watch Anthony Edwards match up against SGA. It gives me Jordan versus old school Pistons Isaiah Thomas vibes. You remember what Anthony Edwards said after that series? He said, "It's no one in the offseason that's gonna outwork me." All of a sudden, we see the videos of him in the weight room. SGA, we know how he's coming. He got what Anthony Edwards want. Not only the regular season MVP, the finals MVP, and the NBA championship, and sent them home, and he's not going anywhere. When those two guys match up, it's a problem. Here are the dates. November 26th, must-see TV. December 19th, damn it, we gotta be there. January 29th, March 15th, it's gonna be must-see TV. You know Ant-Man is coming, and SGA is not going anywhere. Like my grandma say, they got old souls, baby.
Love it. All right, we've covered a ton of games we're all looking forward to. But, UD, I want to start with you on this. What's the best matchup upcoming this season?
Well, you know, I'm an East guy, so I'm going to stay out here in the East. And I'm looking back 2 years ago in the 2024 playoffs, and the series went 7 games with the Orlando Magic and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I'm looking at the Orlando Magic team, and I've been saying a couple years that they are one player away. So is Desmond Bane that one player? Paolo Banchero, if we remember, Game 7 went for 38. Donovan Mitchell went for Game 7 went for 39 in that series. These two teams have made the improvements. They got the coaching. They went out and got Ball. They went out and got Hunter. I really believe that's going to help them this season against bigger guards. When you look at what the Orlando Magic did, where they went to go get Desmond Bane, this is not a guy who only can stretch the floor and give Paolo Banchero and the other guys space, but this is also a guy who can run some point guard for these guys and initiate and get these guys into offense. So I'm looking at these two teams, with everybody saying the East being wide open. I'm looking at these two teams, and I'm asking these young superstars, Paolo Banchero and Donovan Mitchell, to make the next step and take your teams to the next level.
Now, there were 2 teams that took the Thunder to 7 games, right? One of them was in the Western Conference, the Denver Nuggets. I'm really looking forward to those games. To me, the Denver Nuggets are the biggest foe, the biggest challenger to the champs. They add Cam Johnson, two-way. Their defense got better. They got Valanciunas behind Joker. He could start for a lot of teams. Brown's back. Then you got Christian and Strother taking steps. This is a better Nuggets team. This is a team that had them at a Game 7. This is a team that has been a champion in recent years and a team looking for revenge. All those matchups could be potential Western Conference Finals matchups.
The producers go hate me, Jaren go hate me for this, but the best matchup in this NBA season is the whole entire Western Conference. Let's be real. It's stacked. Every single game is going to matter in the Western Conference. No slow starts. No guys sitting out, because every single night you're going to have to strap your shoes up. So I'm looking at two teams in the West. I'm looking at the Clippers. I'm looking at the Lakers. It's always fun watching the battle of L.A. The Clippers are still known as the little brothers, although they got their new arena. How's Kawhi going to look? Is he going to be healthy throughout? We know how LeBron James is coming. Seem like he's excited about their roster and the moves that they made. We seeing skinny Luka. Ty Lue feels some type of way. He want to fly under the radar, but yet he'll call me on the phone and tell me, keep disrespecting us, Perk, and I'm going to show you. So I'm looking at that matchup and I'm saying to myself, that's always one, but the entire Western Conference is going to be a battle and a brawl for it all every single night.
Well, Perk, you know I'm going to talk about the Rockets, right? Mark, you know I'm going to talk about the I'm excited for Rockets-Clippers, okay? James Harden walking out on the Rockets, and now the Rockets are revamped, baby. They've got one of the greatest ever in Kevin Durant.
Bitter.
You've got a team full of veterans with the Clippers, and then you've got a team with the Rockets that were able to retain the majority of their young core. You've got two coaches, both that are former players, in Ime Udoka and Tyronn Lue. You've got everything that Jeff Van Gundy, the ties to the Rockets, and what he's been able to do with the Clippers defense. So, hey, the full NBA schedule just dropped, and you're going to have no shortage of the number one pick on your TV screen this season. The Mavs have 23 national TV games, which is 10th most in the league this season. But let's go beyond the number one pick. Our amazing research staff crunched those numbers on some trends so you don't have to. Let's go in the bonus, baby. The team with the longest road trip next season is the Lakers. They have an 8-game getaway between January and February. That's brutal. They also have the longest homestand with 8 straight at Crypto. Here's the kicker. Their road trip is directly followed by that homestand. So I guess it all evens out. All right, Phoenix may have a tough road ahead. They have a league-high 8 straight games against teams who finished 500 or better. So that stretch for the Suns tentatively goes from the end of November through December, pending, of course, those NBA Cup results. Cleveland is coming off a 64-win season, and this year boasted the longest streak of games against teams with a losing record last year. So Cleveland is going to play 8 straight. They start on Halloween against opponents who were all under 500 last season. And Boston's outlook for next season is set. We know Jason Tatum will miss time, but the Celtics have the easiest strength of schedule and are tied for the fewest back-to-backs. The Celtics have the longest active playoff streak, 11 straight seasons. As for the most back-to-backs, that's a 5-way tie highlighted by the Sixers. And we know Joel Embiid has stated in the past that he's done playing back-to-backs, having not suited up on consecutive nights since January of 2024. So the NBA season is a marathon, certainly not a sprint. But Ramona, which team, when you take inventory of what you just saw from our research department, which team absolutely cannot afford to get off to a slow start?
I mean, you just mentioned the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Last year about this time, we were all on TV saying they won the offseason. They got Paul George. This is the look for them in the Eastern Conference Finals. We obviously know how that worked out. Joel Embiid got hurt. Paul George got hurt. And, Jared McCain had a nice season before he got hurt. They ended up with a lottery pick. That was the only salvaging thing here. But Joel Embiid, from what I understand, he had a surgery. The rehab was going well, but Nick Nurse said today at an event over at Basketball Without Borders over in Europe that he's not sure if he will be ready for the start of training camp. Now, that jives with what I've also heard about Embiid. Nobody wants to say anything in the middle of August about whether he's going to be ready for the start of training camp, how many back-to-backs he could or wouldn't play. It's early now, but I think we're in the place now with Embiid where we just got to see it. Like, nobody's going to predict anything with him until they actually see him back on the court. And I don't know. It feels like I've read that story before, especially with Paul George also recovering from.
It's always about
surgery.
injuries.
May not be ready for the start of training. I've heard this before.
I mean, look, I just left the nursing home a couple weeks ago from visiting my grandmother for her 90th birthday, and I saw Nicholas Batum and Chris Paul there. Okay, that's what we talking about. The old folks, the Clippers, the old folks, the Clippers, right? Think about the Clippers and think about they're the oldest team in the NBA. Right, and that time is now. When you think about Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, like they need to get it done. In the tough Western Conference, they don't have room to be sitting out. They don't have room really for guys to be injured. Every night is going to be a war. This is a team that I feel like needs to get off to a hot start and come out the gate swinging, because it could come down to the stretch and one game could keep you out of the play-in tournament to get into the postseason, or one game could keep you out of the sixth spot and get you into the play-in tournament. And I feel like this team needs all the rest that they can at the end of the season, so they need to be in that top six.
My choice is the Los Angeles Lakers, and it's because of what you said earlier, Perk. Every night out in the West is must-see TV. Every night out in the West is going to be a slugfest. When I look at the teams in the West, everybody got better. You saw what the Denver Nuggets did by going to get help for Joker, by going and bringing back the other guys that played there, by going and making a trade for Cam Johnson. You see what they did. You see what the Clippers did by going to get Bill. They bringing in Chris Paul. They went and got Lopez. They went and got Collins. You see Minnesota when they got another year, when they bring Julius Randle and another year on this belt in the playoffs. We saw what Houston did. Everybody in the West got better. Yes, the Lakers addressed their problems with size by bringing in DeAndre Ayton, but we will see how that fit works, and we will see if they got better. What I will say is, if they get out to a slow start, the King gonna be a little bit disgruntled. So we're gonna see how that goes. So what I would say is the Lakers cannot afford to get out to a slow start in the West, period, because of how good the West is, and two, because you don't want to piss off the King right now.
That Western Conference is a bloodbath for sure. All right, if we know one thing about NBA players, they have, we'll call it long memories. So let's take a look at some possible revenge games on the schedule. Wemby had to watch this clip all summer. The dunk came after the whistle, but that doesn't mean he won't want to even the score. Wemby will get his first shot on November 18th when the Spurs host the Grizzlies. Okay, and the finals rematch should be enough. But Jalen Williams might have this one on his mind when the Pacers and Thunder face off. You think, Ramona?
I remember that one.
Their first meeting is in Indy, and it is on ESPN. Yep. All right. A playoff rematch, Knicks at Pistons for the first time on January 5th. You think Detroit fans still have this Jalen Brunson dagger in their nightmares? Yeah. He's known for doing that.
Absolutely. He's Clutch Player of the Year.
Yep. All right. The Lakers won't have to wait long to see Ant-Man, Anthony Edwards. They host the Timberwolves in their second game this season. That's going to be on October 24th. Jackson Hayes probably still hasn't forgotten this dunk.
Yeah, good thing DeAndre Ayton will be out there trying to defend that this time.
All right, and you know the Clippers were thinking about this play for the past 3 months. Aaron Gordon, of course, stole Game 4 of that 7-game first-round series. That was a great series. LA gets a shot at revenge on November 12th. That game
I was sitting right in that corner, and I still can't believe he made that.
Game's going to be in LA, and personally, I wouldn't want to be on Draymond Green's enemies list. Alperen Sengun might be. After this poster, I'll be the Warriors host the Rockets on November 26th.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear, pull up all brains. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's 88 over here,